Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be doing something different. I'm gonna be doing a get ready with me, but while I do a get ready with me, I'm gonna tell y'all a story time. But before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Y'all, this is some tea. We'll always be there for each other. This story time took place when I was maybe about 18, 19. I think I was maybe like 19 years old. I was dating this guy. I had a best friend at the time, and disclaimer, because I know the type of person she is. I'm gonna tell my story, and if somebody don't like it, I honestly don't care. It's my story and I'm gonna tell it, girl. I'm not here to bash or bully anybody. It's just a story I feel like my audience would love to hear, so why not? Y'all can find my eyebrow pencil, so I'm gonna use my eyeliner pencil, but whatever. The story takes place when I was 19 years old. At that time, I was staying with one of my friends, and I used to work at the movies, the AMC movie theaters in my hometown. And I don't know how I met the boy. I think it was Instagram. So he found me on Instagram, and we was just talking and chatting, I think for like a couple of days, maybe like a week. We're gonna call the boy Blue, and we're gonna call my best friend at the time, don't be funny, y'all, just call my best friend at the time best friend. Y'all, backstory: me and my best friend, we worked at the same place, the same movie theater, and she used to be my ride. She used to take me back and forth to work. So I was telling her about the boy, and I was telling her how I was feeling him, and it only been like a week we was talking. I was showing her pictures of him. She was like, oh yeah, girl, he cute. I was telling her what he do, and of course that's her type. One day when we got off of work, or when I got off of work, I think it was the day that she wasn't there, he came pull up on me. He picked me up. We was riding around talking. He dropped me off, and then I told my best friend, I was like, girl, we did X, Y, and Z. We had fun. Like, we was really getting to know each other. I really like this boy. Regular stuff you tell your best friend when you really like somebody. Like, oh my God, I like him so much, girl. Like, oh my God, he gave me butterflies and stuff. That's what I used to tell her. Like, stuff like that. She knew I really, really, really liked him. So the whole time, she like, oh yeah, for real? Like, yeah, girl, oh, okay. Whole time. So we're gonna fast forward to like a couple of weeks later. I was going to her house. I was spending the night back and forth at her house. It was one night I had got on the phone with the boy, and she was just listening in our conversation. I was telling him, oh, my best friend here, and she was like, oh, you got any cousins or brothers or something? And they was literally talking back and forth, but on my phone, right? So they was talking back and forth. I had no problem with it, because I'm not an insecure ass person. Like, I'm not insecure at all. Like, my friends can talk to my boyfriend, I don't care, but just know how to have a conversation, a respectful conversation, you know? Yeah, I was like, okay, girl, they cool, that's good. Like, they cool. If we go on double dates with his cousin or whatever, or his brother, then it's fine. And the boy, we was linking up again. I think we linked up maybe like 2 times after that first time, and he took me out, whatever. And it was one time she kept on asking me, oh, do the boy have a cousin? Do the boy have a brother or whatever? Like, he got somebody for me, like put me on somebody basically. I was like, I don't know, I'm just getting his number. Didn't really think nothing of it, like, at all. And that was that. It was like a few days go by, and he was just getting dry, and like the conversations was like I'll text him at 11 in the morning. He wouldn't text me back till like 3 in the afternoon. He probably texted me back 2 times out the day. Meanwhile, before that, we was texting all day, every day. And I was starting to feel some type of way. So of course, as a girl, I went to my best friend, and I was like, why is my boy, my man, we gonna call my man at the time, call him Clown, because he was a clown. Why Clown haven't been talking to me in a few days? Like, he been barely talking to me. Like, he'll talk to me sometimes, but he don't. Like, we used to stay up on the phone together and everything, y'all. Out the blue, it just stopped, and I didn't know what was the reason. So of course she like, oh girl, I don't know, maybe he at work, or maybe he doing this. And I was like, yeah, you may be right. But all day the dude was still active on Instagram and stuff. So how'd that go? Time go by, and I'm like, damn, I'm about to cut him off, because he had been texting me. And around this time, I was going to her house again. I was at her house, and we were just chilling in her room, and we was just going to the shower, going to take a bath. She goes to take a shower, and her phone ringing. And I was like, oh girl, your phone ringing. She's like, who it is? So I picked it up, and y'all, why is it my dude? And it said his name. I was like, I know damn well this ain't my clown. Y'all, when I tell y'all I answered the phone, I was like, hello? And he was like, oh, what up? And I was like, what you doing calling her phone? And it was late at night. What you doing calling her phone this late, and you ain't been texting me? Oh, she said you wasn't worried about me. She said you got somebody, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of lies, a bunch of lies. So I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he told my son, man, you ain't been texting me and da 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 da. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been waiting for your text and call for days. I'm not about to constantly keep on texting you first and you don't even text me back. I was on the phone and I was arguing with him, and she walked in and she was like, who you on the phone with? I was like, because why is he calling your phone? And she was like, oh girl, I don't know. I was like, okay. I just brushed it off. I didn't really say nothing. I was like, damn, why the fuck you calling her phone? Stop calling her phone like that. That's weird. And she agreeing like, yeah, that's weird, right? Laughing and playing on the phone and stuff. I was mad at the boy. I wasn't mad at her at first. Keep that in mind, y'all. No emojis or nothing by the name. It just had clown. Just straight clown. So yeah, so whatever. Our day went by regular. Like, we laughed and played. Like, around that time, like, we had a really close relationship. So she had my password to my phone, everything. Like, she had a password to my phone, Instagram, whatever, and vice versa. So we was that close, y'all. I'll never be that close to nobody ever again like that. Like, I'll give people my stuff, but I'm not about to let nobody log into my stuff because I don't know, I think it's weird now. So we had a regular day after that. We went to work, whatever. I think I stayed like the weekend at her house. I would just pick up on, like, she would get text messages and she would kind of walk away from me. Or she'll have people call. I'd be like, girl, who calling you? She's like, oh, girl, that's nobody. That's da-da-da-da. Brushing it off. And I did not think nothing of it with my dumb ass. I didn't think nothing of it at all. Like, I was just like, oh, that's probably somebody she don't want to talk to. All 3 days, like, she would get phone calls and texts, and she would just walk away. Kind of like sneaky with it. I mean, I peeped it, but I ain't really say nothing because I was like, okay, that's her phone. If she might be talking to somebody she not ready to tell me about yet, so I'm just mind my business. Fast forward, I think it was the last night or the night before I was about to leave. We had woke up. We was in the bed laughing and playing as we used to do. We always had fun. We always had good times. But when we stopped being friends, I look back on stuff like this, story time. I tried to hurry up and look over, and I was like, yeah, that's not my friend. And I can't really be mad at it. We was in the bed laughing, giggling, playing, and she got a phone call, and it was just emojis. I ain't paying no mind. I just let it ring. Was in the bed all day that day, laying across the bed right next to each other on our phones, or we was watching a movie on the laptop. One of the two, I don't remember. Her phone just kept on ringing and lighting up and ringing and lighting up. So I'm like, damn, who the fuck call her? Something told me, y'all, when it was time for us to take baths and stuff, something told me to pick up her phone and go through it. The first thing I did, I went through the text messages. I didn't look at the number first. I went through the text messages, and I was like, whoever this is texting just like clown. I was like, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. So I went to the number just because something told me to do it. Like, something told me click on that contact and click on the number. I did that, y'all. When I tell y'all, my heart broke so bad. Like, why would she do that and then change the contact name? So the conversations was flirty, like very flirty. Why are you talking to him? So the first thing I did, I called my other best friend at the time, because around that time we was in a trio. Would not recommend to be in a trio, y'all. It's always gonna be one bitch left out. I called her. I was like, girl, why the we gonna say best friend number one? Like, why is she talking to my man? She FaceTime him. She texting flirty stuff. I think I even sent her pictures of text messages of what they was talking about, and she was like, damn, that's what you gonna do? I was like, can you come get me? Because I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't be in this girl face because I'm gonna lash out on her, and I love her to death. I don't want to do that. So I was asking my best friend to come get me. I was still on the phone with my other best friend number two, and best friend number one walked in the room. She was like, oh, what y'all doing? What y'all talking about? I ain't say nothing. I was quiet. She kind of sensed it. So, and I think she saw her phone was like a different way. I think she had put her phone on the charger before she went in the shower. And I think she said something about that. She walked out, took her phone, and I was packing my shit, y'all. But best friend number two came. She got out the car. She came upstairs. She was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was telling her like, oh, she doing this, she did that. And I wasn't trying to be loud because we was in her parents' house. So I'm not a disrespectful person. I'm not gonna be yelling and cursing and doing all that. We was in the room with the door closed. So I was like, girl, this girl texting my man, da 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 da. And then best friend number two was like, it's not okay. So I understand that. I understand you hurt, but y'all can't fall out over a boy. I was like, that's not why we falling out. We falling out over respect. Like, that's a respect thing. Why would you talk to somebody that I'm talking to and you know I'm talking to him, instead of you being a real bitch? Like, hey, I've been texting him, I've been talking to him. She just act like she didn't know. She was oblivious. Instead of saying, oh yeah, he called me every night. Because y'all, when I went through the call logs and the text, it was like text from the day I gave his phone number. So that had to be going on like for 2 weeks. So I'm like, like that's fuck. Why would you do that to me? So whatever. I didn't say nothing to her and I left. I didn't talk to her, I think, for maybe like 2 or 3 days. It should have been longer than that, because that's weird. Like, comment down below, how would you feel if your best friend went to talk to your man? I didn't talk to her. Only best friend I was talking to was best friend number 2. I would go to best friend number 2 house. We'll hang out, whatever. I think it went on for like 3-4 days. One day, best friend number 2 had came picking me up, and she had already talked to best friend number 1. And I was like, I don't want to hear, I don't want to talk, I don't want to hear nothing. She had came pick me up, and we was in a car on the way to Walmart. And she was like, oh, I think you should reach out to her. And I was like, why should I reach out to her when I'm not the one who did anything? I'm the one who was mad and upset when she's the one who did something, not me. I didn't do nothing to her. She did something to me. So she said, just be the bigger person. Just give her a call and da da da. I was like, I don't want to talk. So whatever. We get to Walmart. I already got an attitude. Like, leave me alone. Best friend number 2 called best friend number 1. I was kind of getting mad at her because why? She was like, I don't think y'all should fall out over a boy. It's just a boy. There's 1,000,001 boys in this world. And I was like, I'm not falling out with her just because of a boy. My reasoning for being mad at her was because I was literally venting to this girl about how I like this boy and blase, whatever else. And she sat there in my face for weeks. And she didn't say anything about him texting her or nothing. It's like she was trying to keep a secret from me. I don't trust her. That's weird and that's foul. Like, that's so hoish. Like, why would you do that to your best friend? Like, somebody that you love, supposedly. I guess she heard me and she was like going back and forth with me. Red flag number 1 is, why are you going back and forth with me as if I did something to you? She was really going hard on the phone like, bitch, I nobody want your man, da 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 da. If you want to follow me because of a boy, I don't give a do that. That's on you. I'm like, oh, well, she talking like that, then I don't want to be her friend at all. Like, I'm thinking she want to get on the phone and talk and have a conversation and be like, hey, I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm sorry never crossed her mouth. She never said I'm sorry at all. She never said I'm sorry, ever. And I was telling her about how I read her messages. I was like, okay, so I read your messages and why y'all was talking like that? Why y'all was talking flirty if it wasn't nothing like that? So I'm like, no, that was him. I was just playing along with it. But I was like, why would you just play along with it if you know that's somebody I like? Why didn't you just send a screenshot and be like, oh, why is your dude talking to me like that? Or that's what you're supposed to do with your best friend. She was like, tell that nigga stop talking to me. Red flag number 2. And I was looking at best friend number 2 and we was in Walmart, y'all, and we was so loud. I was like, bitch, why you call her on this phone? Like, if she not even gonna apologize or nothing, why call her? Like, I don't want to talk to her. And she was still saying, y'all don't need to fall out over no boy. So we leaving Walmart and we go sit in the car, and best friend number 1 still on the phone, still being loud, lollygagging. And I think around that time, like, I kind of shut down because I was like, yeah, I don't want to rekindle this friendship. Who would want to stay friends with somebody who don't even give a damn about your feelings? I don't want to be friends with people like that. I think she noticed that I was shutting down and I was like stern on how I was, and she was like, if you want me to stop talking to him, I'm gonna block him. I just blocked him, and she sent me a screenshot. I looked at it and I was like, okay, like, what that's supposed to do? Okay, if you're gonna block him, delete his number, unsave his number. So I was like, I do that, that's fine. Like, she was still having an attitude. She was like, that's okay, like, that's good enough for you. Basically, like, I'm doing this so I can shut you up. I tell you, I was mad for weeks, but I ended up getting over it. But at the same time, it's like, dang, why do that to me? I know your question is, did she ever talk back to that boy? Honestly, y'all, I don't know, because I didn't go back and I didn't go search because I didn't want to get my feelings hurt again if that was the case. Y'all don't gotta tell me I'm dumb. I know it. Well, now I'm not dumb because, of course, I'm not friends with the girl no more. I just realized that how people treat you is how they feel about themselves. I was so tired of being around that energy. I just don't like being around that nasty, what is it called? Negative Nancy shit. Like, when you let people go out your life like that, it's always a blessing at the end because, baby, when I tell you, after I stopped being friends with that girl, so much good stuff started happening for me. I think that was one of the reasons why a lot of my blessings was blocked, because I was hanging around the wrong crowd, people who weren't actually for me around that time. Like, I feel like as we grew up, we were supposed to be together, but as we grew into adults, I felt like the friendship was dead. It was a situation that happened. Y'all want that story time? I'm gonna have to ask my best friend though, because I don't know how she feel about that one. My today best friend. I have 3 best friends, y'all, currently. At the end of the day, I stayed friends with the girl. Y'all want those story times? Because I got a lot on her. There was a lot of stuff, like, after we stopped being friends, I was looking at it sideways, like, hold up. You ever look back on situations after you stop talking to somebody, you be like, oh, they was doing this the whole time, or Oh my gosh, that's what they meant? Like, girl. That is it for today's video. I hope y'all learned a valuable lesson. Pay attention to the red flags and cut the people off when you first see something wrong. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and if you like it, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you ever had a situation like this happen to you. I want to hear y'all stories. I have plenty more story times to give y'all, but I just don't want to make this channel a story time channel, you know what I mean? But with that all being said, I love y'all, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
There's so many ways to get paid. I tried dipping, he begged me to stay. Babe, I'm not staying, I just wanna play. In the party, he just wanna run.